All right, everyone, welcome to the final thoughts on the MVPS and UPL layout. All right, so like you guys already know, I'm gonna go through, break down just some things that I had noticed on the field, some things that are gonna help you out on the field, some tips, some tricks that I kind of found. So I'm gonna walk through, we'll start on the Dorito side, go to the center, and then talk about the snake side. I really feel like the snake side is the more important one on this field, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so let's talk about the Dorito side. So when you are actually running out, you really wanna be careful of the home being able to shoot that Aztec. They can also shoot the little Dorito and a little bit into that Dorito. I did have it where running and gunning, or actually I was just running out, trying to slide into that little Dorito, and they were able to shoot me, and I think it was from here. So you just want to be careful of that. When we talk more about the center, there are some bounce shots that'll be able to help you here, but you want to make sure that if you're running out wider, you need to have someone shooting back at this particular player. If you're actually coming out, there is a shot, and I know that bunker's a little bit deflated, but you can still see. If you kind of just take a knee right here, right back in line, you can drop it right into that little W. And that's gonna help you with being able to eliminate that snake side. So it's not a for sure shot that you're gonna get it every single time, but it is one that's gonna help you out if you're trying to eliminate that snake player, maybe make them slow down a little bit. And I know some of the bunkers are deflated. I apologize for that. It's the end of the day, so no one's coming around right now to fill them up. So like I had already mentioned, you have the back center can shoot right here. You also want to be careful of the center. When we talk more about the center, you'll see why it can be a really good kind of fortress to be able to stop players. But when you come up to this Aztec, one thing you want to be careful of is any bounce shots coming off this can into you. I would say it's probably best for you to switch over to here. This way you're able to see what's happening on the snake side. You're able to see where it is that they're moving. You can see some of these moves here of them trying to move up the field. So you're gonna be able to stop a little bit more. Now, maybe on the actual layout, those Doritos might be a little bit closer together. If that's the case, this bunker is not gonna be as effective, but it still can be something to be able to eliminate that person trying to move up the Dorito side. Whenever it is that you are trying to move, I would stand up and shoot up over the top at that can, and then also at the back center. You can see over the top of the pin, it's gonna drop right in for both of those. So you really wanna make sure, because as you're coming out this way, you can see right here, I'm not even all the way over, they're able to shoot you here, and then the home can also pick up, if you go a little bit too deep, like let's say you're sliding way back here, it's gonna be able to shoot you. So you just wanna be careful of that. If you're actually playing on the snake side, I would probably just bypass this little Dorito. It's not super effective. Again, if there's a back center, you need to be careful of that, and you do need to check off the other can, but you should be able to just dive right into here because of the fact that they're so close, and you don't really have to worry so much about paint coming down the tape because of the way that the Doritos go out like that and then back in. But once you get up into this Dorito, you do have some shots inside. Please remember, all of these shots, they can do the same thing back to you. So you do have a shot on the back center, on the can, and then of course if you wrap, you have that a little bit better of a shot on the can and also the other can, as well as the Aztec. Of course, be careful of that center as you're moving up into this Dorito side. What I would say, you can wrap this, you just want to be careful. You need to have someone behind you telling you if there's someone that has come wide, because they can just wrap around here and shoot you. But if you drop low and wrap, you're able to shoot the Aztec, both of those cans. You can wrap and shoot the tower. This is a very good bunker here. It's even better as you get closer, which is just the way that paintball works, right? I can come up, shoot inside, I can come around and wrap, and again have better shots going into there. So if someone is here and you're close, it might be good to try to just come and bunker this person out. Same thing, of course, if they get to your side of the field, because now they have good shots even into your snake and to some other bunkers. And then if they start wrapping, it's gonna be pretty hard to stay alive. Okay, so if I was coming out to this can, Something that I noticed, and this is just a mistake that I made, I waited too long back here. The back center does have a drop shot right into here. So if you're shooting that shot into the little W, trying to kill the snake, or even shooting for the snake, you just want to shoot it real quick and then try to get up into this can, so that way you're a little bit more protected. With this can, you are going to be able to see a lot more of these bumps. So this is going to be a better spot to get to if you already have a Dorito player, but you really need to be careful of the snake. They can stand up over the top and shoot into you. They don't have a good wrap shot, but over the top, they're going to be able to drop those pack shots in, so you want to be careful of that. And see, you know, if you're really pushed into this can, now you can start to eliminate bumps that a player might be trying to get to. Something that I had noticed was on this way up into the center, one, it's a no man's land. Like, there's nothing here. So you really need to be careful of who is it that can look this way. Once you make the commitment, just make the commitment and dive right in. But as I was running up, I remember like I saw someone dive out this way into the Dorito. Maybe there was someone over on the snake side. Wherever it is that they're at, this is where you're going to be able to decide where can I be a more of a threat to that particular team. So let's say that they are heavier on the Dorito side and I come into this part here. One, it's going to be really hard for them to shoot you from the snake side, because if you take a knee and you're looking this way, you're going to be able to, one, catch them going out. You have a lot better shots going into there. The downside is that they can come and bunker you. So if someone's at that other can and they try to come and eliminate you, you just need to be careful of that. But hopefully you'll be able to trade, maybe shoot someone before that happens. So if that happens, it's not the end of the world. There is a really good shot going into the 50 snake that I got shot by, so I'm going to share it with you. You stand up tall and then drop it into the 50 snake. As you come around over here, let's say, one, that this is inflated, but let's say that they don't know that you moved up. It's going to be really hard, but let's say that they are in the snake. You see them dive into the snake and you make this run up into this center structure. I would say just wait for them to try to go into the snake 3. You're going to catch them all day. It's so close. Even if your shot isn't that great, you're still going to be able to do some damage, because as they try to move up into the 50 snake, you'll be able to eliminate them. You might even be able to catch them in the snake 3. It just depends on how much they're showing. If they're not showing a lot, I would honestly say wait and let them try to go. Bait the player into thinking that they have that move, so that way you're able to catch them as they go in that way. Of course, if there's someone like you saw in the other video, if there's someone on the other side of this, go in and get them. It's going to be something that they can cut up whatever side it is that you're at. Like, even if I was here, and let's say that they hadn't gone wider, I hope it's not too bright, but if they don't go wider than the Aztec, I can shoot past there and catch them trying to slide in, or maybe maybe we have them trapped at the home and I'm trying to wrap. There's a lot of really good spots that you have on this center structure. It's just getting there. So you can see all of this. Like, there's so much stuff that you have to get past of this no man's land to actually be able to get there alive. So if you're coming up here, you really want it to be that your teammates back here see what way you're looking, so that way they can adjust. If you go up and you know that there's a guy in that Dorito, that big Dorito, and you can shoot into that gap, yeah, absolutely, take that. Go up into there. Something else is when you come here, if they're in just that little W, I can destroy that player going into there. So this is just also a way of showing that whatever side it is that you're playing, whether it be Dorito or snake, really check off that there's no one in here. If you're only counting 4 bodies, then that's not good. There's probably someone in the center. Okay, so I wanted to end off on the snake side because I really feel like this is the side that's going to do a lot more damage. From here, you can shoot wide. It's just the thing is that you have a lot of routes that you can take to get into that little W. So it's not a guaranteed kill, even though there are some good gaps there. They can go shallow or go deeper, like if they run the back line and slide and go crawl up, or they go straight in here. Or I even had someone go up to the can and dive across. You have different options. Speaking of this can, if they come over here, they can shoot that same gap as well, and they're relatively protected. They can shoot over. You guys saw me do that in the other video where I was trying to shoot to see if they tried to go into that Dorito. You have a decent shot. They're probably not going to run and gun into the God, so you're not going to have to worry as much about paint coming in this way. Always have a head up for that though. Something that I would say is if you come here and they haven't gone wide, I would say get to that tower. Reason being is as I come up, and this is something that you would be pulling an audible. Like if I was in one of these cans, I'm trying to figure out, do I go out to the tape or here? Do I go out to the tower? Do I go up to the center? It's really hard to say exactly when it is because you have to see how the game is breaking down. But the reason why I'd want to come here is I can cut up all of this side. I can make it where no one can get wider, or if somehow they make it in, I'm going to be able to see them, and that's half the battle sometimes, is seeing where did that player go. So at least that way, if I have someone trying to get into the snake, they get into the snake and I come here, I can say, hey, you have no one on your tape. So if he goes a little bit wider, and we'll talk about that, you can get straight up into the 50 snake and start wrecking some stuff. We'll talk about bounce shots. There is one from here that I was able to find, but yeah, this is a good bunker to get to if they haven't gotten wide. If they've gotten wide, you run the risk of them just wrapping and just destroying you. So you really need to make sure that if you come here, no one is wider than at least the little W. If they're in the snake, I would not come here just because they can crawl all the way up if that was inflated. Clue of where they're at. So they're going to be able to get all the way up and then you're just a sitting duck. All right, so coming out here, I don't think I got bounced. I think there was one point I got bounced, but there is a shot from the home into here. So if I'm running and gunning out, I'm probably putting paint back into that, that back center. So that's going to be something that is going to be the guy that's going to probably cause the most damage for this particular player. If I'm coming here and I'm trying to see, you know, getting into the snake, maybe I'm trying to slow play it and I come here, you can stand up and start wrapping, but you need to be careful of that can. So they can drop, no pun intended, they can drop shots this way. And then there are some shots that they can shoot from the center. So there are some that you need to worry about. So make sure that you're checking off the center and all of that before you move out of this Aztec. Again, with this, if I was here and I already had someone in the snake and they didn't go wide, I might try to get to that tower. Again, because I can cut up that side. But coming into, well, let's talk about the corner first. So I know this is deflated. I personally am not a huge fan of this corner just because you can't stop anything. You can stop them wrapping, but they still have some inside shots at the 50 snake. This would be a bunker that you would throw one of your snake players into to have a way of getting in. If no one is looking this way and you come out here and you look and there's no one looking at you, just keep going right into the snake. And you might actually be able to go straight up to the 50 snake. Depends on if they have that cross or not. If they don't, I probably wouldn't even stop here. The only reason I might stop here is if we have someone in the 50 snake and maybe I was over there, but I think that that tower is probably better to get to. And because it's just, I don't know, it's just not that great of a bunker. So I wouldn't use it often. It would be something that I might throw there just to throw them off from, if I'm always trying to run in this way, I might try to just have our snake player run deeper into the corner just as kind of an audible. So like you saw in that other video, you do have a way of kind of cutting up a little bit of the Dorito side from here. So if you're trying to slow play it, that can is able to shoot into the snake a little bit. It's probably not the best bunker to, well, actually it's not terrible, but you can shoot this way. So if you have people at home shooting at you, like I had mentioned before, I had people that were shooting over the top. So you have some shots coming out that you're able to shoot back. I know that can fell over, but the can, the back center, the Aztec, the tower, and you also have the other can. So you have a lot that you need to check off. But the good thing is that, that's maybe 3-4 feet. So you can just dive right across. So once you check that guy off and just whoop, just go straight in. If there's no one looking at you, just take that chance. Because once I get into this snake, make sure that you stay low, because there are drop shots that can come up over the top. But if no one is looking down the tape, like let's say that they haven't beaten you to the 50 snake, no one can stop you. Just go and keep crawling. You really need to be careful of the crack. So if this is overinflated, they can shoot through the crack. I actually had that happen. So you need to be careful of that. And I've tried to use that to my advantage, but someone was able just to capitalize on me. So good shot, Ron. I know you watch the channel. Being able to come up, and even if you wanted to hug this and crawl up, if this is inflated, again, the tower can't see you. Really, the only person you need to worry about is a center and the can. The Doritos, yes, they can shoot some, but you're able to still see those moves. So let me get into here. When you're actually in the 50, I would say probably don't even really look inside. I'd probably come around and wrap, so that way I'm able to start to eliminate players this way. Especially if they try to get into the snake. If you can beat them to this 50 prop, again, if this would be up, I can wrap around, and if they try to come and do anything, I'm going to destroy that player trying to come through here. You can drop shots into the Aztec if that can was up. So you have some shots that you're able to do here. This is someone that if there's someone in this snake, it's really important to make sure that you get them off the field. Talk about bounce shots real quick. So I didn't try this one, but I think this one does work. If you wrap on the outside of this can, you have to be careful, of course, of the Aztec. Shoot the other can, and it'll bounce into the home. You do, of course, have the opportunity. It's not a bounce shot, but that drop shot into the back center is really good. You have the same shot, that drop shot, from this can. I did this, and it works really, really, really well. But you can drop it into there, and I think you have the same bounce on this side off the other can into that back center. So I really wouldn't stay at this back center for super long. I don't think that it's that amazingly effective. I don't really think that it's going to be something that, like, what am I really stopping if I stay here? If I look this way, other than the snake, so this might be something that I would say is good to get to, but I can maybe get closer and have a better shot. Because if they put me in and go, by the time I start shooting, it's going to be too long to get there. But you just need to be careful that if you start hearing that can getting shot a lot, you might just need to take a knee. So that way it's not going to bounce into you. Another really good bounce that I did is come to this tower. And if that was up, you can bounce it off that can into that Aztec. So you can see this a little bit better. So from this tower, wrap it, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy. Wrap it on the outside. So let's say, again, I'm wrapping it on the outside here. You bounce it off that can and it skips into the Aztec. Now, it's not gonna work if they're looking snake side, but if they're looking Dorito side, I was able to get someone, and they were really surprised at it because it was a good hard hit. So it wasn't something that was just like a little ding and that was it. It was a good hard hit. So that's gonna be a good one. I'm pretty sure that there is a bounce, and I didn't check this one, from either the Aztec or the tower off of this snake beam into this player. So the only downside is that if you start shooting that and you're trying to shoot them like you think that they're kind of sitting here and they come up over the top and put you in and then dive, you kind of gave that up. So this might be something that you can throw in every so often, but I wouldn't use that all the time. All right, and the last one that I had seen, and I'm sure that there's other bounce shots, but the last one, if they are posted this way in this Aztec, you should be able to bounce it off like the bottom corner, around that bottom corner into this player. It's gonna come up a little bit, so if they're really low, they should be okay from it, or you should be okay from it. But you might be able to, like, if I'm shooting this way and a player is shooting back at me, I might kind of roll off a little bit and shoot the bottom portion of that Dorito to try to skip it into them. So it's just something that you have as kind of like a repertoire to be able to put that player back in. All right, everyone, so that's the video. I would say that it's really important to make sure that this snake side is loaded. And it's not that the Dorito side is not important. It's just that this snake, once you get up into that 50 snake, you have so many shots that you can actually get up into that if someone gets in there, you have to go bunker them. That's why I think it's important to have 2 or 3 guys that can get right back into the snake. So that way, if someone does get bunkered, you can fill that 50 snake again right away to keep that pressure on that side. The Dorito side does have good shots, as well as the center, of course, but I really feel like most of the wins are gonna come from this 50 snake. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck to those that are playing in the MVPS or the UPL. I know they're both using the same layout, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.